It's a long way away to start planning a demonstration now, although we are going to split up into groups and work out how we can do it now. I want to do the importance of why we're doing it. We're facing a situation where the governments are talking about climate change, and in some of the governments are saying that they will do something by such and such a time, but at the same time they're not doing it. The situation we have here, where we have a climate bill coming in that has very long-term targets at the same time as they're building more roads, they're building more airplanes, they're not doing anything to the houses and so on, is a global situation that we're in. And on top of that, we have the government of the United States, the auto corporations of the United States, the oil corporations of the world, attempting to build an alliance with Brazil, with governments of Brazil, India, China, Russia, Japan, and they hope the government of Britain, to say that what we will have is a global program of research in which universities will do a lot of research into what we could do about climate change if and when we finally get around to doing anything about climate change. That is the plan that they're floating. And what we see is political figures all over the world, the Angela Merkels, the Schwarzeneggers, the Tony Blairs, all these people who say that they want to do something, but when the scale of what must be done comes up and hits them in the face, then they actually retreat from doing anything. And in this situation, what we need is a mass global movement to force them to do it. We need a movement that is far bigger than anything we've ever had about the environment before. We need a movement that moves out far beyond the environmental groups, that moves out into the trade unions, that moves out into every student union, that brings coaches from every university in the country to the demonstration, that moves out into every part of society, because this requires such large changes in the way we run the economy, such large changes in the way we run the world, that it's going to take a mass movement to force them to do it. Now, what we have now is very small in terms of what we must have. And the space between here and there is what we do. And the importance of demonstrations. Demonstrations do not change the world, but demonstrations change the people who demonstrate. It's the process of building for December the 8th that will take you, in the city you live in, around every trade union branch you can find, around every mosque, every church, every synagogue you can find, around every organization that you can find to build support. And then, when you go and speak to the trade union branch meeting or the school assembly or whoever it is you're speaking to, then you make the whole case for mass action. That's what we're about, is mass action to make the governments do something about climate change. And it's not that you march on that day. It's all the things you do between now and then, and the hundreds of conversations you were in, and the tens of thousands of conversations that cascade out from the conversations you're in about what must be done, that make all the difference. And then it's getting people all over the world to demonstrate together in numbers enough that can change the essential thing. And the essential thing is, I lost track a long time ago of the number of people who said to me, Jonathan, I'm willing, I care about the climate and I care about the environment and I'm willing to do something, but other people won't do something. The other people in this city won't do something. The people in China won't do something. The people in India won't do something. The people in the United States won't do something. I care, but other people won't do something. And what we want to do is put enough people on the street together that everybody goes home and says, it's not just me. I'm part of a mass movement. We won't do it in one step this year. This year will be bigger than it was last year. It'll be in more countries. It'll be bigger in many countries. It's going to take building from here and it's going to take us more. It's going to take us as many years maybe as we've got, but we're going to have to do it. But when we split up into groups, what we're doing is about making it bigger this year in this country so that we can build a movement big enough to save the planet. Thank you.